The Arena of Broken Pride. The twin suns of Xerxes burned crimson over the Arena of Sorrows, their heat pressing down like a physical weight. The stands buzzed with the chittering laughter of Xenthian spectators, their insectoid limbs clicking in anticipation. Below, in the blood-stained sand, Cal Ardent stood motionless, his wrists bound by bioelectric chains. Across from him, Zara the Undefeated twirled her photon glaive, the weapon humming as it split the air. Her armored exoskeleton gleamed under the harsh light, each plate crafted from star-forged alloy. She tilted her head, mandibles twitching in amusement. "No last words, human," she taunted, her voice amplified by her helmet's vocal modulator. "Or are your kind as silent as they are weak?" Cale said nothing. His eyes, cold, calculating, locked onto hers. The scars across his face told stories of battles fought before capture. The horn of commencement blared. Zara lunged, her glaive a blur of lethal energy. Cale sidestepped, the chains on his wrists shattering as he twisted, not away, but into her strike. The crowd gasped as he caught the glaive's haft, using her momentum to wrench it from her grip. A single brutal elbow strike to her throat sent her staggering. Before she could react, Cale seized the broken chain at his feet and whipped it across her faceplate. The crack echoed through the arena as her helmet split open, revealing the shock in her amber eyes. Silence. Then, roaring approval from the human slaves in the stands. Zara touched the blue blood dripping from her fractured mask. For the first time in her life, she felt fear. Above them, in his obsidian throne, Warlord Vorak leaned forward, his triple-jawed maw curling into a grin. "This one lives," he commanded. "I want him, broken properly." The chains of rebellion. The obsidian mines were a tomb of sweat and despair. Human prisoners swung pickaxes under the lash of Dominion overseers, their bodies starved, their spirits crushed. Cale, now branded with Vorak's sigil of ownership, worked in silence. But his hands were never idle. A stolen hydrospanner here, a scrap of wire there. He didn't speak, yet his eyes communicated everything. A network of rebellion grew. Tapped codes on pipes, stolen rations passed in shadows. A minecart rigged to derail, crushing a squad of enforcers. Zara, stripped of her rank and assigned to oversee the mines, watched him. Her face still bore the scar he had given her. "Why do they follow you?" she demanded one night, cornering him in a supply tunnel. "You don't even speak." Cale picked up a shard of obsidian and carved into the wall. Actions scream. Words whisper. Before she could respond, the ground trembled. A cave-in. Sabotage by Dravok's forces to root out rebels. Zara was trapped under rubble, her leg pinned. Cale hesitated. Then he dug her out. As he carried her to safety, she whispered, "You should have left me." Cale's only reply was to press a stolen medkit into her hands before vanishing into the tunnels. The fractured mask. Zara found Cale at the edge of the glass wastes, staring at the horizon. "You saved me," she said. "Why?" He drew in the sand. A chain. A blade. A broken circle. She understood. "You think we're the same." Cale nodded. Then, he tapped his throat and mimed something being torn out. A memory flickered in Zara's mind. Dominion interrogation files. Humans who resisted neural conditioning. Sometimes their voices were taken. "They made you silent," she realized. Cal's eyes burned with something fiercer than hate. Purpose. That night, Dravok staged an execution. A child, lifted by the throat for stealing water. Cale moved, a hidden detonator in his palm. The blast shattered the scaffold. In the chaos, prisoners ran. Zara saw Cale standing in the smoke, staring at her. A choice. She grabbed a fallen blade and sliced Dravok's whip hand clean off. The wasteland packed. The glass wastes stretched endlessly under Xerxes' twin suns, a graveyard of shattered obsidian and forgotten battles. Cale and Zara moved like ghosts through the razor-edged terrain, their footprints erased by the howling wind. Ziara's armor was cracked, its energy cells drained. She had never felt so exposed. "How do you navigate this?" she asked, watching Kale adjust their path with uncanny precision. He tapped his temple, then pointed to the star patterns above. "You're using celestial navigation." She almost laughed. "Your people still rely on primitive methods." Kale smirked, the first expression she'd seen from him, and drew in the sand. Primitive. Effective. A drone's hum cut through the air. They dove behind a glass spire as the Dominion scout passed overhead. "They'll keep hunting us," Jara muttered. Kale nodded, then gestured ahead. A half-buried structure jutted from the dunes, a pre-Dominion bunker. Inside, they found Rin, a disgraced Dominion scientist with mechanical wings grafted to his back. He aimed a scorched plasma pistol at them. "You're either very brave or very stupid," Rin hissed. "Which is it?" Kale slowly raised his hands, revealing the brand of Vorak, and the fresh scar where he'd burned it off. Rin lowered the gun. "Ah, you're the one who broke the arena champion." He glanced at Ziara. "And you're the broken champion." Ziara's fists clenched, but Kale stepped between them. He pointed to Rin's holographic blueprints, a quantum core schematic. "You want to steal Vorak's power source." Rin wheezed a laugh. "It's suicide." Kale grabbed a shard of glass and wrote, "Suicide is easy. Victory takes work." Rin stared. Then he grinned. "Fine, but we'll need a distraction." Ziara exhaled sharply. "I might have an idea." The siege of Obsidian Spire. The fortress of Vorak loomed like a black fang against the skyline, its walls lined with pulse cannons. Rin's improvised EMP crackled in Cal's palm. "It'll disable the outer defenses for 90 seconds, the scientist warned. "After that, you're on your own." Ziara adjusted her stolen shock blade. "I'll take the east gate. Dravok's there. He owes me blood." Kale shook his head and pointed to himself, then the gate. "You want to face Dravok." She scowled. "He'll tear you apart." Cal's reply was a single raised fist, the rebel gesture for "trust me." The EMP detonated. Chaos. Kale slipped through the flickering force fields, his movements a shadow. Dravok waited in the courtyard, his cybernetic whip arm sparking. "The mute rat returns," Dravok sneered. "Let's see how you scream without a voice." Kale dodged the first lash, but the second gouged his shoulder. Blood splattered the sand. Then he grinned. Dravok hesitated. That's when Kale yanked the hidden wire at his feet. The overloaded power conduit above Dravok exploded, searing his optics blind. Kale didn't kill him. He left the warlord kneeling in the dirt, whispering, "What are you?" The answer came not in words, but in the roar of collapsing gates as Ziara breached the inner sanctum, the voice unshackled. The quantum core pulsed like a captured star, its light painting the vault in eerie blue. Rin worked frantically at the console. "We have 5 minutes before the overload cascade." Ziara guarded the door, her blade cutting down elite sentinels. "Hurry." Kale stared at the core, then at the neural collar on a nearby corpse. A Dominion voice siphon. Rin followed his gaze. "That's a nasty piece of tech. Crude, but reversible." Ziara spun. "You can give him his voice back." "Maybe." Rin attached the collar to his tools. "But it'll hurt like hell." Kale didn't hesitate. He clamped the device onto his own throat. Agony. Lightning raced through his nerves. His vision whited out. Then sound. His own scream, raw and broken, echoed off the walls. Ziara caught him as he collapsed. "Cal." His lips moved. The voice that emerged was rusted but real. "We fight together." The core blared a warning. "Time's up," Rin yelled. The reckoning of Turxus. The sky burned as Vorak's fleet descended. Cal's voice, amplified through the rebel comms, cut through the static. Lure them to the glass plains. The Dominion warships pursued the fleeing rebels into the trap. Cal's hand signals became orchestrated destruction. Hidden seismic charges shattered the brittle earth. Warships plummeted into the fissures. Vorak's flagship hovered above the chaos, its ion cannons charging. Zahra leaped from a stolen skiff, her blade piercing the bridge viewport. "Remember me," she spat, facing Vorak. The warlord laughed. "You're still just a broken weapon." "No." She ripped off her Dominion insignia. "I'm a choice." Their duel split the air, until Cal boarded the ship, the quantum core in his hands. Vorak paled. "You wouldn't." Cal's voice was calm. "For freedom. Watch me." He activated the overload. The black hole swallowed Vorak's fleet whole. Epilogue. The survivors cheered as the Dominion's grip on Xerxes shattered. Zahra stood at Cal's side. "What now?" He gazed at the stars. "War isn't over." She nodded. "Then we keep fighting." Rin tossed them a data crystal. "Next target's coordinates, if you're interested." Cal's new voice was quiet but unshakable. "Always." End of story.